And again for the second straight week, Bliss delivers Sister Abigail.
What's going on, YouTube? It's Sensei, a place to be chilling, Mr. A&D, back to give you guys a Friday Night Smackdown review for September 25th, 2020. And can I say this episode of Smackdown was better than Raw? Yes. Is that saying much? No. This is the go-home show before Clash of Champions this Sunday. And I have to say, like I said, SmackDown, I was able to probably digest a little bit better than Raw, but that really wasn't saying much because I really was not saying I was that into SmackDown. But anyway, SmackDown starts off with the Tribal Chief. I'm lying. What am I lying? Hold on. First of all, I'm on the wrong SmackDown. SmackDown starts off with a tribute to Road Warrior Animal, who lost his life, and we're going to talk more about that on the No Gimmick Scene of Wrestling podcast. But we start off because we have the ring surrounded by ladders. So it comes to find out that this Sunday will be a triple threat ladder match, which should be awesome, between AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Sami Zayn for the crown, who is the true Intercontinental Champion. So AJ Styles comes out, and then Sami Zayn comes out, and then Jeff Hardy comes out, and then they're cutting a promo about who's true Intercontinental Champion and what's going to take to win the championship on this coming Sunday. Of course, Jeff Hardy has the advantage because it's a ladder matchup. And with these three guys, even like if these three guys, three names I heard 10 years ago, bruh, this ladder match would be insane, okay? But even now, with these three guys, I still think they will put on a decent enough matchup to, you know, still be able to do what they need to do. So, Sami said the match shouldn't even be happening at all because AJ decided to take his part in the tournament and then, you know, to decide a fraudulent champion. And then when Jeff won the fraudulent championship, they should have called Sami on the phone to announce the championship, but they didn't. You know what I'm saying? So, but then they put him, they have a ladder match. You know how dangerous a ladder match is. So, Jeff actually, you know, both side AJ said Sami should be grateful because unlike him, he and AJ defended the kind of title week after week with honor. This ladder match is Sami's chance to make the championship belt legit. So as both Sami and Jeff hold their championships, you know what I'm saying, they hang them up. But then Sami gets on the apron and then he pushes AJ into Jeff Hardy, who gives him a twist of fate. And then Adam Pearce comes out and says, well, you know, it's going to be a regular one-on-one match, but we're going to add AJ Styles to the match between you and Jeff Hardy tonight to make it a triple threat match with no ladders. So, we get a triple threat match between AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Sami Zayn. Good television matchup. I know these guys could do a lot and dig a lot deeper with it. But obviously, it's for TV and stuff like that. But AJ Styles hits a phenomenal forearm on Jeff Hardy. Sami Zayn pushes him outside the ring, and Sami Zayn gets the win. So he's looking strong going into the matchup. But after the match, AJ grabs the ladder and knocks Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy down, puts the ladder in the middle, climbs up and grabs both Intercontinental Championship belts. So this is the only matches that I am actually truly involved in that I really want to see. We get some clips about Otis and The Miz, and obviously The Miz has been doing everything to make Otis' life hell because he has a Money in the Bank briefcase, feels like he didn't deserve it. Mandy Rose went to Raw, so that comes to the breakup right there. And then he feels as though that that he has his lawyers to serve Otis a lawsuit of him. You got to respond because he didn't hand over that Money in the Bank briefcase. And Otis says, well, mother always told her to never trust carnival clowns, 1% milk, and lawyers. So Ms. Morrison come and then they're saying that they deserve the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then Patucker tells you he wins the fair and square. And then but he said, look, my lawyers have been making over $2,000 an hour. That's a lot of money. And he said, when they're done with him, and they will work around the clock to make sure that, you know, they get their Money in the Bank briefcase. But when Tucker's reading, he said, well, Miz, how come your name is the only one that's on this lawsuit? And Morrison says, what's he talking about? But then Otis attacks Morrison and throws him into the gate and beats him down before everybody comes and breaks everything up. So that's how that segment happens. Then we get Bayley coming out to do a promo about basically what happened to Sasha Banks, and then Nikki Cross is not going to be anything different than it was before. She's going to beat Nikki Cross, and Nikki Cross made a comment that she can probably beat her because she don't have Sasha in her corner, and she says, well, how dumb does that sound? Because think about why Sasha's not in the corner of her. So, you know what I'm saying? But I got better things to worry about right now, but you're not going to beat me. Basically, that's what it was. So, decent promo by Bayley. It wasn't nothing that, going to knock your socks off or anything like that. Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura with Cesaro takes on Grand Metalik of a Lucha House Party. Matches are pretty good. Metalik is trying to bounce on the top rope, but then Nakamura takes him down, gives him a Kinshasa to the back of the head, and Exploder. Then another Kinshasa and beats them. As Lindsay Rock comes in and checks on them, then Cesaro just kind of flips him over, and then they just kind of beat him down, and Lucha House Parties for some reason still not getting along. Jey Uso comes out to the ring and says, "Look, I'm hyped because we got Clash Champions. It's gonna be fan versus family, Uso versus Uso versus Reigns for the Universal Championship. Both Roman and Paul Heyman are in the back, and then he talked about some. I excited to go up against his cousin, but he says if you play back the footage." He says, when he sees Roman and Uso getting the win against Sheamus and Corbin, Roman smiling on his face, and then he frowns behind him. And he says, "Yo, man, what's up with the frown, man? What's up with that, Uso? What's up with the look?" As he's basically saying. So Roman and Heyman hasn't come out backstage and say that like that. He says, "So what is this?" He says, Paul Heyman gets up on the screen to says that Roman Reigns is going. You can hear from Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns decides for you to hear from Roman Reigns. So he's not going to answer any of your challenges or anything like that, your questions, until he's ready to talk to you. That's what the tribal chief is going to do. So then we go over to Matt Riddle taking on King Corbin again. In this matchup, once again, since I don't care about Corbin, doesn't matter. As Riddle tries to go off the top rope and gives I forgot what he calls that, twisting senton splash that he does. And then Corbin gets the knees up. And then he goes for the end of days and takes out Matt Riddle. And I'm like, well, Caleb Braxton gets in the ring. And Riddle's disappointed, but he says, losing sucks, but don't worry, he's going to push it to continue to grin until SmackDown is the bro show. Womp. Couldn't stand any part of that. I was like, Corbin, I'm tired of. Matt Riddle deserves better than this. And that's what we got. Alexa Bliss versus Lacey Evans, which is a continuation from last week. Obviously, Alexa Bliss gets into the evil trance every time she hears the word fiend, and she gave her Lacey Evans' sister Abigail. Well, now she looks pretty normal, and then Alexa Bliss is in a corner, and then steps Evans to the mat. But then all of a sudden, we hear the Bray Wyatt laugh, and then Alexa looks confused, and then it goes to a commercial. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. So she's not affected just yet. Lacey tries to go for a moonsault, recover, but Alexa Bliss kicks out, and then Alexa Bliss grabs Lacey Evans, and then drops her to the mat. But then all of a sudden she hears the evil laugh from the Fiend, and then it's like she just like awakens, and then snaps on Lacey Evans, and then she pins Lacey Evans. I'm not sure what the finish of her she keeps slamming Lacey Evans' head through the mat. Referee calls for a style to get disqualification, and then Alexa throws her outside the ring, gives her sister Abigail, and starts to laugh, and then she walks up Roman Reigns' music hits as Alexa Bliss is walking, and then as she walks past him in a trance, she looks back at him and just stares at him. So obviously the thing with the Fiend and Roman Reigns is not done just yet. But it's time to hear from Roman Reigns, as Paul said. This is our main event, and Roman Reigns is here to answer the thing for Jey Uso. So Roman Reigns is just like, look, Jay, we family, and to be honest with you, if I give you this championship, I would. But the thing is, you won't even know what to do with it. He said, you don't understand the weight and the pressure from being the face of the WWE, and it's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? It's not your fault, but you're a twin. You are part of the best tag team of this generation, the Usos, which is hard to argue that point. He said the family is proud of him, but the family depends on and relies on Roman to be the tribal chief. He said that's who he is. It's not Uso, okay? And it won't ever be him. It will always be Roman. He drops the microphone, walks away. And then Jay tells him that he's wrong. He can't be the one to provide. Why can't he be the one to provide for family? Why can't he be the one to provide for his wife and kids, your nephews and stuff like that? Roman on top got to be the big dog. Well, he says that which one are you? After Sunday, they'll ask me who I am, and I'll say, you know what? I'm the one who beat Roman Reigns in Clash of Champions for the Universal Championship. Roman walks away, and then Uso walks to the top of the stage, but then out of nowhere, he gets Superman punched by Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns stands over, Uso's unconscious body and screams at him, and he said he will never ever take this title. You know what I'm saying? You will never ever take his place at the table. So it was a decent promo by Roman, a good promo, good segment by Roman Reigns. Like I said, there's no believability that Jey Uso is going to win the matchup, but the story I think has been doing good. I enjoy the start of SmackDown with the ladder match, stuff like that, and in my personal opinion, I think SmackDown gets a thumbs up from me. It wasn't a stellar necessarily thumbs up, but promo work, so like that, they did a way better job than Raw. The Raw, in my personal opinion, was the worst Raw of 2020. But in SmackDown gets a thumbs up from me. So post that in the comments down below. How did you guys feel about SmackDown this past week? Did you guys like it? Did you guys enjoy it? Hit the like button, that really helps the video. Hit the subscribe button for more WWE content right here on Nerd Coalition. So once again, this is NCM Place to Be. Chill, Mr. Andy, and Nerd Coalition is out.